Hello, guys. Good morning. Welcome to our section. Wow, there are a lot of things that is actually happening. A lot of things happened last night. A lot of things happened yesterday, and in a crypto space, in a technology space, there are a lot of things that is happening. Okay. This morning I was just thinking if I should talk about the crypto or I should just talk about the chat GPT. Okay. I have to talk about the chat GPT first. So in my next videos, I'll be discussing, telling you some of the things that is happening in the crypto space as well. There are a lot of things happening, guys. So you have to stay tuned. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, our channel, so that you can actually get more information. So this morning I'll be talking about this chat GPT. You know, if you remember in our last video, we talked about what is chat GPT, how to use it, and all that. But the current things that is happening there now is the fact that the ChatGPT passing the test required for medical license and business degree. Now, what it means is that there are a particular professor from MBA schools and medical license exams that set uh, their standard of exam for this ChatGPT platform or the AI open AI platform and it passed. And what does that mean? Mhm. That's serious. That's to say that the AI becoming more intelligent than the human actually. So God will help us actually. Recently, Google lay off more than 1,000 staff. Okay, just because of the ChatGPT, because there is the AI is actually doing the work. Okay, you don't actually need to gather people to be doing a certain task again because the AI is actually handling most of the things, most of the tasks. So you guys, you have to do extra work, extra study, acquire more skills. Okay, so that you actually belong because the world is going in a direction whereby if we are not careful, we'll be, we'll be outdated. Yeah, we'll be outdated. Okay. So I want us to watch the video. Brit Winston tell us about the dangers of this chat GPT, which in me personally, I'm seeing it already. He make the fact that with these interactions that I have with valuetainment channel, he actually claims things that they are not ready for this. Yeah, not ready for this. Although it's a technology, technology has to do with acceptance, and when people accept it, it becomes so popular, and then everybody starts to use it. But there's no option, even when it's not ready for it, even when the organization is not ready, or whosoever that is not ready for it, the technology has come to stay. So we have to, as much as you could, to key into it as fast as possible and make your own earning from it. Okay, there are a lot of people making a lot of money from ChatGPT. I will bring more details on how to make money from this platform again in subsequent videos. So just stay tuned. So let's just watch this video and hear the some of the interactions that happened and then what we will learn from it and we discuss.
So, the viral chatbot that has raised concerns from teachers and academics over its ability to cheat on essays and exam has now passed a Wharton MBA final exam, the United States medical licensing exam, and components of the bar exam. And this thing's only been around since November, by the way. A Wharton professor conducted a study in which he used OpenAI GPT-3, the language model on which it is built on, to take a final exam of a core MBA course. He concluded that GPT-3 would have received a B to B minus on the exam. The Professor Christian Terwish founded that GPT-3 performed the best at basic operations management and processing analysis questions. For these, the chatbot provided both correct answers and excellent explanation as to why an answer was selected. In the paper summary, teacher acknowledged that GPT-3 is by no means perfect. At times, the bot made mistakes in simple mathematical calculations and wasn't able to handle more advanced process analysis questions. The study further fueled the conversation that academics are now having as a result of GPT-3, GPT, advanced writing skills regarding exam policies, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, some professors are extremely concerned. Some are worried. Some are saying this could question the existing business model, teaching model, universities. How concerned are you? How excited are you? How little do you care about this?
I don't think anybody is worried enough. I think the hazard of what we're facing
Really?
is almost beyond what we can imagine. And that is, I'm saying that even though I know what you have to focus on if you want to comfort yourself that this isn't so terrible. You can focus on the fact that this model has no capacity to be conscious, right? It's simulating meaning without knowing what it's saying. But I don't know how long that lasts. I do know that this is a pretty good spot check of where we are in the trajectory that results in general artificial intelligence. And I don't think we are remotely ready for what's coming. And I will point to the most obvious of these problems is already critical, and you're hinting at it in what you're reading here. But the fact that it is going to become extremely difficult to assess actual competence it should alarm us at the highest level, right? To have the possibility, you could have a conference of people all consulting whatever descendant of ChatGPT happens to be available at the time and talking to each other as if they know what they're talking about. We've already got a problem with our experts who don't mostly seem to know what they're talking about. This is going to be, 100 times as bad in a world where they can be consulting something that sounds very knowledgeable and may in fact be completely on the wrong track, which I would point out is another argument, and maybe even a much stronger argument, for including real-world physical interactions in which you do not have to assess whether or not somebody knows what they're doing. They either fixed your engine or they didn't, right? It either runs or it doesn't. Those kinds of things are not going to be easily faked, though even they, right? A mechanic who does not know what he's doing but is able to consult this device in order to figure out what is likely causing a problem is going to become less and less capable. So I don't know what we're supposed to do about it, but I do know we're not ready. We're not ready, and the rate at which this is going to get better.
Hello, guys. I think I have a point here. Okay. Let's assume you are a mechanic, and then you quite know, or either a mechanic or a doctor or a programmer. Okay. And then instead of you to actually make research, study more to understand maybe a particular code and all that, you don't care anymore. Like person like me now that I don't like coding actually. I don't like coding. Not that I don't like it. It's a very difficult thing for me to do. So now, based on that, now instead of me to actually go further, try to overcome that laziness of not coding to actually learn more on how I can run some algorithm, I'll just actually depend on the chat GPT. Okay, which is one of the main disadvantage of that thing. You understand? Because it will make a lot of people lazy. It will reduce level of development in terms of human brain, definitely, and it will also reduce the level of competency because you will no further research to actually know more about the certain things again because you are 100% sure that okay, if I go to ChatGPT and then I search, it will be every information will be there. Yesterday I was going through a Google and I discovered that okay, Google already attached a plugin on that. Okay, Google have attached a ChatGPT plugin to the Chrome. So what you need to, if you install, because I actually did that yesterday, I installed it on my Chrome, and if I search for anything, it will also display the site for the chat GPT. So as you do your normal Google search, it will also give you a chat GPT box where you can also see the response for the chat GPT, and then you can do more interaction with the chat GPT on Chrome. So the whole thing is going it's making a lot of sense, but at the same time it has a disadvantage. Okay? So let's just continue.
is clear, right? Exposing it to larger and larger data sets is going to make it better and better at simulating this kind of interaction. And that's if it stays unconscious. The question of what happens if this doesn't stay unconscious, or this stays unconscious but its descendant picks up consciousness, is even more troubling. And
go to ugly place. Good, bad, ugly. Worst case, what happens?
Well,
Is it the fear that? I actually want you to go there before I tell you what I think is the fear for some people.
Okay. First of all, we don't need ChatGPT to take us to the worst case scenario. We are already losing our capacity to understand the world we live in, to manage the tools that we are creating, to live in harmony with each other. We are losing those things in the present prior to ChatGPT. All of those problems get worse. This is like an accelerant, right? This is like you had a house fire and then you just threw gasoline on it, right? Now we have a raging house fire. So I don't know that this is or isn't the thing, but I do know it's not going to help. At this moment, we can't deal with this. And this is not the last time that's going to happen, by the way, right? We had a world, we had an internet, and then we dumped smartphones into it. And it was like an accelerant. It took the derangement that was arising out of natural algorithmic processes within the internet, and they got vastly worse when people were constantly confronted with their phone and the ability to interact in this way all the time. So we've seen that. We're going to see it again with fusion power. Fusion power, which I believe is the one technology that potentially bootstraps us out of the system we're in and into one that is sustainable. But if you just added it to the system tomorrow, if you read the paper tomorrow and turned out we'd accomplished scalable fusion, it would likely make things worse and not better because we're not ready for the world that it creates. So I don't know what the name of that problem is, but the we're not ready for that problem is a very serious one, and we can swap in one technology after another, and it will create different disasters.
So does ChatGPT scare intellectuals? Is it where intellectuals are sitting there saying, and professors are sitting there saying, if this happens, like in the insurance industry, I'm in the life insurance space, the moment they started doing predictive analytics without needing underwriters and saying, Brett, you don't need to do blood and urine anymore. We don't need to do that anymore. We don't need underwriters anymore. Here's a test we're going to be taking on you. We're going to get your social media score. We're going to get this. We're going to get this. We're going to get this. Based on that, your preferred elite underwriting, you're healthy. You're going to live till 85. Mom lived to 89. Dad lived to this. You're going to be fine, right? We don't need underwriters. Underwriters sat down. They're like, dude, no, you can't stop this. I make $250,000 a year. There's no way I want you to get rid of my job. This is scary, right? But guess what? That's innovation, getting rid of underwriters. Could this model get rid of some educational system that will replace professors, and they're sitting there worried saying, hey, I've been bragging about how smart I am. Now I can't do that anymore. This is not cool.
Yes. And, we have just watched the entire expert class fail a real world test, right? We watched all the universities, every science department. They have all just failed a major test. So, and if you were inside that system and you kept your wits about you, you knew that there was a problem with competence. You knew that a lot of that was fakery and nonsense, right? It looks like science, but it doesn't function like science. If you actually understand the magic that makes science work, you knew it wasn't taking place in these departments, that it wasn't taking place in the major journals. And so on the one hand, it is possible that something like ChatGPT helps us discover the level of incompetence that is putting us in jeopardy, which would be great. But my concern is that it actually arms the next wave of incompetence so that it sounds competent. And so it's harder to detect. And my guess is that latter problem outweighs the benefit of the former.
Well, I mean, You took me to a whole different place. We've already been having that. I mean, we have a president that is giving speeches of people that gave the speech 10 or 20 years prior to him and sounding very presidential and getting caught plagiarizing John F. Kennedy's speech or Ted Kennedy's speech or all these other people's speech. So plagiarism's not going away. People sound very, very intellectual. I think what is going to be interesting is we can right now produce a robot, if we don't already have it, that would be the UFC champion for every weight, okay? We can probably produce a robot. I don't know if you've seen that one robot that shoots three-pointers and how accurate it is. Have you seen that one or no?
Steph Curry of robots?
No, it's not even Steph Curry. It's better than Steph is 43%, 42%. This guy is like just hitting him left and right, okay? Perfect accuracy, and he's shooting the ball. So
Le Robot James?
Le Robot Jordan, okay? So, you know, we're already going in that direction, but do you really want to see robots playing? No. You know, if we can create a robot to go into UFC and fight them, am I really intimidated by that? Probably not. Now, the future of robots that are military, that's a different story. That's concerning. But, you know, intellectuals debating. Like if you were to have a debate with ChatGPT, you're probably going to lose the debate, not in the sense of who's right or who's wrong, who can recite more information and remember and memorize. Well, the ability to memorize as an individual, it was very a valuable skill set 20 years ago. Today, you know, you can just go somewhere and do it. But I think we're still going to want to see hand-to-hand combat with people debating and going at it versus just debating a machine.
Right. And the question is, will you be able to know what you're seeing? So I used to tell students that you are here in this classroom to enhance the capacity of your mind. You are not here to learn things, right? Things are now freely available on the internet. You don't need to go to school to access them. What you need to do here is practice how well your mind functions. And so, yeah, you know, today I would beat the pants off ChatGPT because I wouldn't let it come down to volumes of information. On a volumes of information question, then, you know, if ChatGPT 3 can't do it, ChatGPT 4 will. But at the level of the ability to reason, and I'm not arguing that there's no ability because we've actually seen it, right? The fact that this thing can write code and fix code is incredible. And that is a kind of thinking, even if it's not doing it in a way that we recognize as valid cognition. But we do have to worry about what the future is going to look like. And, you know, I already don't think that we know exactly what we see when somebody's giving a, you know, especially somebody very powerful is giving a speech on television. But we're going to be in a world of confusion once you plug this thing into our mechanisms for sense making.